It's really interesting to see how many people really understand, because there are certain people in the comment section that can't grasp certain things.
It's
like
a bunch
topics.
of losers on the couch sitting around.
Yeah.
Like, I saw very few intelligent comments. Like, I scrolled through a little bit, and you can tell like what kind of person is commenting based upon what they're saying.
But there are people that are commenting on there that are also saying, like, watch the whole video. He actually has a really good point.
Yeah, there were
like,
some people who were like, oh,
that's
yeah,
not to say
yeah.
everybody, but there's people on there that are not capable of grasping what we're trying to say.
You know who's the worst?
Who?
The AR-15 guys, the losers.
Well,
I'm just picking at them now.
People that own AR-15s didn't really like what you said about that.
Yeah, I don't care.
But
they're all a bunch of grumpy old fat rednecks that, not all of them, I'm just joking, sort of, kind of.
Well,
I see you at gun shows.
So what'd you do this morning?
I went duck hunting.
How'd that go?
Horrible. It was great. Spent fellowship, but I almost got into a altercation at the boat ramp again with some flat-billed Sitka guys with, you know, the little flat bills that they wear, the little new hunter folks, the duck hunters of South Carolina.
You seem to be the common denominator.
Oh, it's definitely me. Well, what happened is I pulled up to the boat ramp, and there's a dude sitting in the boat ramp. It's a one-lane boat ramp, so only one boat can go at a time. And this dude's sitting in there. He sees me pull up, backs his boat in, and he's sitting there. 1 minute goes by, 2 minutes goes by, and I'm like, what's up? And there's like, oh, we forgot to put our plug in the boat. We filled our boat with water. I was like, well, can you pull it up here and drain it? I got to get my boat in. And he's like, can you wait? I was like, no. This is a boat ramp, not a drain service. And he's like, well, if you're going to be a fucking prick about it. And I was like, first of all, let's cool down a little bit. We're just duck hunting here. And like, chill out. And he's got a stupid squatted truck with his offset rims, one of those kids with the lights underneath. Future trailer park trash. He was like being a complete, and he was like, cussing us. So first of all, man, like, let's quit cussing at each other. Like, it's 5:45 in the morning. We're all get to go duck hunting. Let's just chill out, man. I just want to put my boat in. You can drain it up there. And that's it. And then we got out on the water. My buddy John and his son joined us, and it was great. And we saw some ducks, but nothing typical South Carolina duck hunting, which
I think that says a lot about the experience that you had is not unique to just douchebags on the lake. Like that's an experience that you'll have in the grocery store. Everywhere. That's an experience that you'll have everywhere else, because we've seemed as a society to lost consideration for others, namely in space.
You know what it is?
Have you ever stood in a line?
It's terrible dads.
Like, have you ever stood in a line at a mall lately?
I avoid it at all costs.
So miserable. You have people breathing down your neck. It's like any line, really. If you're at an amusement park, if you're in the grocery store, if you're at the mall, wherever you are, if you're standing in a line, you have people that have no concept of personal space standing over you all the time, and I don't get it.
Well, I think it's dads. I think we have terrible dads. I think we have a bunch of kids running around that their dads are like, yeah, son, whatever you think. And their dads are never like, hey, how about you shut up? How about you just be polite? But it's a bunch of dads who are like out doing whatever, and they never teach their sons how to like be gentlemen or dress or not be a douchebag.
Yeah, or just pay attention in general. Like just care.
Why
would
you let your son drive a jacked up squatted truck? Why would you let your son do that?
Well, they probably bought it for him too.
That's the sad part. Like, why would you let your son do that? He looks like an idiot, and he probably is an idiot.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's why birth control was invented, to keep those people from being around.
They're great birth control ads.
Yeah. I don't want my child anywhere near you. I want nothing to do with that kind of person. Nothing. If my daughter brought home a guy and he was like rolling up and he's got a flat bill on and he's got his little fluffy hairdo hanging out the side and he's got a big jacked up truck and he's wearing his like camo hoodie and he's got his like whatever affliction jeans on with square toed boots, I'm out, bro. You're not coming in my house.
You're a dad and you're in the unique position of having one boy and one girl. So you have to figure out how to parent both of them, and you parent both of them differently. Is there kind of a blacklist for, but no pun intended, is there a blacklist for who both your son and your daughter can and cannot bring home? And
Absolutely.
Then are they different for boys and for girls?
No, it's not different. So my rule with my kids is gentlemen only and ladies only. So if you're a gentleman, you're welcome in my house anytime. Are you allowed in the room alone with the door closed? Fuck no. You're in my house.
Good rule. Yeah.
Now, you want to drink a beer at my house at 16 years old? I'll treat you like a man. That's cool if you want to act like one. But you come up like with this Morgan Wallen BS flat bill wannabe wigger nonsense. You ain't allowed in my house. And I have a very beautiful daughter, and she's going to be, and she's extremely intelligent. You ain't getting anywhere near. I will run you off the face of the earth before you date my daughter. My son, same thing. You ain't bringing no redneck hoe in my house.
Yeah.
Like this, like half wannabe black, half like ghetto, like dressing like a slut in public. No. And guess what? When you show up at my house, you better not be wearing yoga pants. No.
Wait, explain that one.
Because he's 16 years old. You think he can control himself?
No,
exactly.
Probably not.
You will dress like a lady in my house.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I know what I was like at 16, and I could barely control myself, much less what they're wearing now.
Yeah. Well, I think it has. A lot of people immediately want to go to race and things like that when you talk about these sort of subjects, but I don't think that race can be an indicator just like culture is. So let me explain this so that people don't jump all over me. If you are white, right, you have two sides of the spectrum. You can have a really classy gentleman white dude, and you can also have white trailer trash.
Of course.
Right? So there's a lot of white people that if I have kids one day, I would never let my kids be around, and neither would you. Similarly, you know, if you have, whether it's Mexican or black or whatever race you want to talk about, if they're a really classy black dude and they're a gentleman and they
or just a dude, you ain't even call him black.
Right.
He's just a dude.
It's just a dude in general. You don't even have to get into race, but I'm saying a lot of people will get into race here. So
sure.
I mean, the point is it has nothing to do with the race and everything to do with the culture that you were raised in.
So this is a common question all dudes ask each other. Hey, dude, would you let your daughter date a black guy? If for anybody black out there, we get asked that all the time if you have a daughter. My answer is no.
Why?
It's because we're not the same culture. It has nothing to do with the color. It's a fact of like, first of all, I want my grandkids to look like me. It's selfish. Now, when my daughter's 18, she's allowed to do whatever she wants to do. But in my house, like, do I want mixed grandbabies? No.
This is where we're different, and I disagree. I see what you're saying on the, you want your grandkids to look like you and their grandkids, and so on and so forth.
And like I don't want Thanksgivings.
But at the same time, like I said, it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. If there is a well-adjusted black person that is a classy individual, he's a gentleman, I have no problem with them dating my future kids.
Yeah, but his family does. That's what people don't understand.
I think that's a Southern thing.
Black families don't want white daughter-in-laws either. Like, it doesn't work. Now, there's certain cases where it works, but I've been around enough black people. I lived with 200 black people in the military. I lived with other black dudes in my single life. Their families don't like when they date white girls. It's not just white people. It's not, like Asians don't like. Go to an Asian household and ask them if they're okay if their Asian son brings home a white girl. The answer is no. Go ask Indians. Indians are hard against it.
You don't think we've progressed past that point?
It's not progression. It's culturally people like to stay within their own bounds. It's a natural thing.
Yeah.
So
I see that. I try to explain that to people all the time. It's like if you go to New York, there's a reason that there's a Little Italy. There's a reason that there is a Chinatown. Is because people naturally settle with similar cultures to themselves or the same cultures to themselves because that's what they're comfortable with. Yeah. They don't want to go out and ship in other cultures. It's the same reason. And we see it at a macro scale, whereas I am totally against importing Muslims right now. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, because they don't clash well with Western culture.
No, and it drives me insane that we see these white crazy liberals, these women saying, you know, how much better, trying to defend these Middle Eastern countries run by Muslims, where it's like, if you tried to speak up there, you would be stoned in the streets.
And it's all women who lived in private, all white communities.
Yeah.
It's not like they live in a Muslim neighborhood.
Yeah. But you're defending something that, like, literally what you're the people, they go out and protest. And it's like, if you did what you're doing right now to defend them in a Muslim country, you would be killed. You would be raped and killed.
Yeah, and in Mexico, you know what the age of consent is in Mexico?
No, I don't.
13. I don't want a lot of the Mexican culture here. You ever been to a Mexican neighborhood? It's filthy.
Yeah. And
it's
then
dirty.
Similarly amazing, it's not just the white women here defending it. You have, say, Muslims that come over that are oppressed by those cultures and want to get away from it, so they come to America, and then they want those same values instituted here.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
And by the way, I love everybody. I love all Mexicans. I love Mexicans. I grew up with Mexicans. I grew up with black people. I grew up with white people. I love everybody. But I mean, like, it's okay to say, hey, what do you want in your household? Well, my culture. Well, what is your culture? It just so happens to be white people. Is that okay to like want people like me in my household? Yeah, it's okay. And if a black guy came to me and said, look, man, your daughter wants to date me, I'm just not into white girls, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Good on you, man. Now, when my daughter turns 18, is it any of my business who she dates? No. And by the way, I dated a black girl. I've also dated 3 Asian girls. Realized it wasn't a good fit for me and my family because we're Anglo.
Yeah.
We're not, like, we have a strong Anglo. There's no other than people marrying, there's nobody else except white people. So if they brought in someone of color or of a different, it would be like, how am I supposed to invite their family over? It's like, it'd be weird. Yeah. And everybody be like, not telling the jokes we want to tell at dinner.
And everybody having a different cultural idea. And
yeah. Now, Asians, some Asians are different. Like Vietnamese and some of the Laotian and those, they're actually more Western than they are Asian because they were colonized for so long. Yeah. And they have more, but anyways, I don't know if I went on the tangent, but long story short is, you know, with Walker, it's all about, you got to be a gentleman. You got to take girls out. Yes, you're paying for the first date. Absolutely, you know, you're opening doors and you're being a gentleman. No, there's no sleeping around. You're not going to go be a hoe. Yeah. You're not going to be this man whore, even though you're, you know.
Tell me about, you mentioned Walker's definitely paying for first dates, which I totally believe in. At what point is it acceptable for Walker to stop, or similarly for somebody that Quinn is dating to stop paying for the dates?
Never.
You don't think so?
Never. When do you quit being a man when you're a man?
No, that's true.
When you're dead?
But I think there's a certain point, especially when you're dating in high school and college, where you're both in similar financial positions.
Okay, that's different. You asked should they stop paying. Now, you can be broke and she cannot be broke. And she wants to go do something and she pays for it. That's different. But if you're taking her out on a date, you should always pay.
Right.
And if she's asking, my wife has taken me out and be like, hey, I've got some extra money. Let me treat you to something.
For example, me and my fiance, right? Early on when we first started dating, I would say for the first 3 months, I paid for everything because that was just my expectation for myself. Like, you're courting her, like that's your responsibility as a man. But there's a certain point where it's like, okay, this is our 50th time as a couple going out to get ice cream, right? She can pay for herself, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
just because you can't afford, that's because you can't afford it all the time.
Right.
But if you were rich,
of course,
it's a different
if I had
story.
Unlimited means, of course.
Right. Or even not even rich. Like, if your wife's a stay-at-home wife, and let's say y'all can only afford to go out once a month, then that's how much you go out. But you don't.
I mean more so in the context of high school and college dating.
Oh, I don't know. That's a mixed bag for me because you're both broke.
Yeah.
And I've been there, and if y'all have a relationship to where like, hey, you're broke because you're not working, and she's got the money because whether she has wealthy parents or if she just has extra change, she's like, listen, it's on me this time. As long as she presents it in a meaningful manner and does not hold it above your head or use it as a power tool, then it's perfectly acceptable. But Walker ain't gonna be broke, not because I ain't gonna give him money, because the boy will be working.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'll put it like, fellas, if you're in high school, college, or dads, if you're wondering about how to do this, and you can correct me on this if you feel differently, but in my opinion, the first couple months, and you should know like when the cutoff is. I'm not saying it's at exactly 3 months and 1 day, you know, whatever it is. But for the first period of you guys dating, when you're still trying to convince her to stay, right, and you're becoming solid in your relationship, the man should be paying for everything. That's, in my opinion, if you can't afford to get through that initial, like going on dates and stuff, you probably shouldn't be dating yet because you need to work on it.
I disagree with there, but maybe it's a conversation to have to say, listen, I'm not there yet. Well, we may not be able to go out and spend money.
Right. But here's what I'm saying. Because if I was, I say that because if I was a girl in that position, right, and the guy didn't have any money, and it doesn't matter at what age you are, high school, college, or whatever, it would be, we just started dating, we're on our first, second, third date, whatever it may be. As a girl, I wouldn't want to date you if you don't at least have a little bit of something. Like, if you're never going to be able to treat me.
That was going to be my next point, is like, why don't you have money? If you got a brand new iPhone, you got a brand new Sitka hat, you got a $30,000 truck, you're just spending your money on you. Yeah. I mean, you're just not a player in the dating game. You're self-absorbed and you don't know how to play the game. And what I would tell you is, like, live below your means.
Right.
And if you want to be a good boyfriend and have potential to get married, now if you just want to go be a hoe, you ain't got to have a whole lot of money.
No.
Hoes don't mind Burger King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you want to be, like, attract a real woman, then you need to be working an extra job or, you know, calling your uncle to go move some leaves on the weekend where you can get some date money.
Which is where I say, like, there's no way around it. In the first few weeks, months, whatever of dating, the guy should be paying for everything.
I say forever, but
I mean, sure. But eventually, I feel like you get to a point where you're both kind of in it together, right? You're obviously not combining finances yet, but like you're both together in a relationship, and you know you're not in a financial position yet where you can cover two people on everything, because you're supposed to be together a lot, right? Every time you go out to eat, right, it doesn't mean that the guy can all of a sudden cover for two people. You know what I'm saying? Especially in high school and college. Like, I feel like that's kind of an unreasonable. At least you would have money for yourself. I would never let her pay for me unless it was like a treat. But like on a regular basis, no, like nobody's paying for me. Like, I'm paying for myself. But to expect a high school and a college kid to have enough to every time you go out for eat, you have to pay for two people, I think that's a bit unreasonable.
No, look, college and high school is different. And I don't talk to college and high school age guys. I talk to guys who are 22 and above, usually around work sites that are young men. And what I tell them is, like, dude, she's not going to find you that attractive until you're successful anyways. If you want a girl to like you no matter what and be drooling over you, get established in your life and get your shit together. And then you won't have any problem getting dates. And any girl won't even care what you're doing because she's so attractive, because you'll rise above so much of the turds, other turd guys, the guys walking around with flat bills, that she won't even care about them. She'll be so focused on you. And by the way, all her friends will be too, because they know you're on a track to awesome, and she wants to be on that track.
How do you reconcile that with, I know you also believe that you should get married as early as possible. How do you reconcile that with, you know, get married as early as you can, but then also maybe you need to wait until later on when you're more successful?
Later on when you're successful, but that could be 23. I don't recommend 90% of dudes go to college. So you should be working out of 18, out of high school, you should be working. Like this. The problem right now is we have too many college educated men who are doing jack nothing. And they're barely getting by. They got a college degree because their parent wanted them to. And now we have a bunch of dudes just in the workplace that are 23 years old with a ton of debt. And then they get out of school and they don't know how to live below their means because their parents lied to them and told them they could have what they want. And now they're stuck out in the workplace, and women are looking around like, are there any stable guys out here? And the answer is no.
Not many.
Not many, because people are living way above their means. No, you can't have a new truck when you're 24. Who cares if you're making 75 grand a year? You have no money in the bank.
We seem to have, as Gen Z, this new generation seems to have this expectation that we should have all of the things that our parents have right out of
it's
right
insane.
out of college, which they worked for 20 and 30 years to get to that point. but they were capable of having it at 27, but they would have been house poor and extremely broke.
They deferred happiness.
Right. And that's what, that's one thing our parents' generation has done a great job of doing, is deferring happiness and pushing it down the line. They know much more about discipline than the rest of us do. So I think our generation needs to do a better job of that, of understanding that you need to live below the Dave Ramsey principles, live below your means. I mean, I'm not saying he's right on 100% of everything, but live below your means, make a plan for your money, and then attack it daily and know where you're at. You can't win with money on accident.
I want to praise young people for a second, because I'm always hard on them. The new generation, the guys right now who are between 17 and 25 years old, are probably the smartest generation that's ever lived. They're probably have the highest combined IQ of young men that have ever lived. They're also the most intuitive. They're some of the most crafty when it comes to navigating the world. You can see, they travel more. They're more worldly. They're more socially adept to handling multicultural things, which 20 years ago was not a thing, because we didn't have multiculturalism everywhere, especially in the South. So I want to praise them for that. But where they lack is they don't take life as serious as previous generations. And I meet a lot of dudes who are 30 years old working in a freaking nonprofit with no kids, and they're married. And I'm like, so, hey, you got kids? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, why? And they're like, we're just waiting. I'm like, till what? Our womb dries up?
Yeah. That's another thing. If you don't have kids and you don't have a family, you're actually less likely to get hired, because corporate people that hire know that people that have families will do anything to feed their families.
And people don't want to do business with single dudes.
More responsible, are more fun to be around also. Yeah. Right? They're just better people in general. And they're more trustworthy also. Like, if you go cheat on your wife, you should be fired 100%.
I don't work with dudes who cheat on their wives.
For a reason, because it means that you can't trust them. If their own wives can't trust them, how can you trust them to be a good business partner? Or employee or whatever?
But you can smell that on people. Like, you can smell the slime on a guy who, like, when I was younger, I was working at Cookout, and this dude who'd been married, he had 3 kids. He was married, he had 3 kids, and he would come in and be like, man, I got out of the gym, and this girl sending me, texting me photos. I go to the gym with every day. And he's like bragging how this, like, okay looking girl sending him half nude pictures. And like, you're gross. You would let your pecker get in the way of not being around the kids the rest of their lives for a nut? That's gross. That's no self-discipline.
Yeah.
So if you have that tendency to do that, I think for the most part, people can recognize it, but it's rewarded today. It's like, he's a player or whatever.
As a society, we're so pro sex worker, but so anti-sex buyer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you have some girl in her basement doing OnlyFans, everybody's like, you go, girl, get your bag. Like, good job. But then if you have, some dude jacking off in his basement buying that girl's OnlyFans, it's like, ooh, you're gross.
Yeah. And
like, I don't understand the, like, dissonance there. Of
I see the tide turning on that, though. Like, it's a lot like, I don't know, people are getting desensitized to it, so it's no longer like it used to be everywhere on the internet. Every single girl was showing her crotch on shorts, right? And then it got deleted, and now it's like porn stars are coming out and being like talk show guests and stuff like that, and they're trying to normalize. It's getting desensitized, and I think we're starting to get to a point to where everybody's just like, yeah, that's cool. But now I'm 30. I've been watching you since I was 22, and I kind of want a family. And like, we're starting to realize that it's gross. Like, what's her name? The girl who banged 1,031 dudes in a day just got saved.
She didn't get saved.
No,
she got baptized. Not saved.
I thought
it's supposed to mean that you're saved.
What's her name?
Not. I think it's Bonnie Blue.
No, not Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue's gross.
I don't know. I only saw.
Let's stop on Bonnie Blue for a second, okay?
I know who you're talking about. I don't know her
There's
name.
another girl who just got wrung out.
And then she got baptized because she was returning to her faith.
Which,
and then,
thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, but she's not actually.
And we don't know that. We do not know that.
She said in the article, I read the article because I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I clicked on the article and read it. And in the article, she's like, yeah, I want to get back to my faith. I've kind of abandoned it for a while, but I'm not going to like leave my lifestyle. And I think you can have both. I'm like, no,
well, that's
you can't
gross.
have both. No. So you're not saved
well,
yet.
No,
I hope that little spark changes the rest of it eventually.
That's for Jesus to figure out.
Yes.
That's not for us to figure out.
No, for sure.
And I'm not going to sit here and judge her based on that.
No, but also the Bible tells us to judge people based on their fruits. And
that girl's eating a lot of fruit.
Still rotten. So,
yeah. But, I mean, I don't think sins are worse than others. If you jack off every day and she's out there banging 10 dudes a day, God views it the same.
Yeah.
So who are we?
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, like,
this is where I get really bent out of shape with the gay and lesbian conversation, with people looking down on that and being really upset. It's like, okay, yeah, you're upset that he's gay, but you're jacking off in your basement. So, like,
yeah, and you're like 150 pounds overweight and haven't made love to your wife,
and you're a liar, and like,
you don't take care of your kid.
I mean, you're a terrible dad. Like, what are you doing judging other people because he's gay?
Oh, he's gay. He's a bad person. Let me go down here and whack off to Bonnie Blue, and then I'm going to go upstairs and yell at my kids that have been in their room all day playing Roblox and chatting with another pedophile, and you want to sit there and criticize some dude who's banging another dude, but he loves Jesus. It's like, okay, bro, but I mean, like, you're no one to point a finger at.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And I have a big problem with that, because if being gay is the worst sin in the world, that's I don't think that's the truth.
No, I don't think
I can't see God coming down and be like, all the gays, they go first. It's like, it's like, no, that's not how it's going to work. He's going to be like, we're all sinners. We all do the same stuff.
I'll be clear. I think that being gay in the Bible, biblically is wrong.
Sure.
But that is the way it's metastasized in our society to be this like horrific thing where it's like you have to be a terrible person if you're gay, and like, no, you can't hang out with anybody. Like, you can't be around Christians. You can't be in the church, whatever. To me is outrageous.
Here's my problem, though. The gay community needs to police their own community. This is what I think the gay community would absolutely thrive if they policed their own freaking community. I'm so tired of straight people having to tell the gay people to get rid of pedophiles. The gay people should be getting rid of pedophiles. The gay people should stop having gay parades and banging other dudes in the butt in the middle of the street. Quit having drag shows with little kids in it. You fucking weirdos.
Here's where I'll stop you. I'll stop you right there, because I think there is a lot of, and I know gay people that feel this way.
And they hate it.
That cannot stand
But they won't say anything publicly. It's like, okay, you can have all the thoughts you want.
Yeah, but
You've
what
got to go and
popular
change
gay
it.
people do you think?
It doesn't matter. Like Milo Yiannopoulos. By the way, if I had to take one from a dude, shout out Milo, you're my boy. That is the most.
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't.
Milo's like a really conservative. He transitioned. That's funny. I said that. He stopped being gay. So he was a very prominent gay conservative, and I just love Milo. And if I had to marry one dude, it'd be Milo, because he's hilarious and he's my kind of humor. But he's the one who's now leading one of the marches to get gay people to straighten themselves out. Which, look, if you're gay, you're gay. I'm not here to judge you, but my point is, like, if I'm walking down the street with my kid and you got your ass, some dude's got his crotch hanging out of his pants, and you're telling me that's normal, well, I got a fucking problem with that.
I think where I have a problem is we need to clearly delineate between the gay community and the transgender community, because those are two completely different things. Because there are gay people.
Tell gay people to not acknowledge.
I think for the most part they are. I think
but the trans
there's
people,
a lot of gay people that feel that transgenderism is completely wrong. It's ridiculous.
But we can't. But here's my problem with that. I'm not here to judge trans people. I'm here to judge them trying to bring kids into the fold. If you're a grown up and you want to, if you want to do trans stuff and gay shit, go do it. But the minute Disney has The minute Disney puts gay people in every fucking kids movie, it bothers me. We just watched the new Bad Guys 2 movie, and the lead woman, or it's basically three dykes that bully guys around. And it's like every fucking movie now, and it really pisses me off because I can't take my kid to a fucking Disney movie. And sorry, I'm saying cussing a lot. This really pisses me off. Disney has to put gay into fucking everything, and it really pisses me off. It's like, why can't I take my kids to a movie without gay people in it? Why did they move, what's his name? Timon gay in The Lion King.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like, and they're like, Timon. It's well, like everything's gay now. Leave kids alone.
The most recent one is the new season of Stranger Things came out. I never got into it.
Yeah, let's bring gay into that.
No, but I loved the internet response to, in one of the episodes, again, I didn't watch it, but from my understanding, in one of the episodes, it's like this big kind of climax in the episode.
A guy climaxed.
No pun intended. It's a climax in the episode, and they're all like about to go do the thing or whatever and beat the bad guy. And they all sit down on this couch, and this kid's crying. And he's just like, guys, I have something to say. I don't like boys, or I don't like girls. I like boys. And it's like, everyone was just like, what the hell? Like, why did you have to put that in there?
Because some
makes no sense.
Fat ass woman in the writer's room was like, you know what we should do? We should make him gay. We need to make him gay because like that would be inclusive and like it'll make our stock price go up. And then when the kids go to the store, when they see Stranger Things they'll buy more stuff and that'll make their parents more broke. And then they'll watch more TV. Then they'll get fat and then they'll just keep going and going and going. And we'll get richer. And then I get to go by home alone with my cats and I get to sit in my apartment and be fucking angry. And then I get to go die. Yeah. Let's make a gay dude. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that nudity is in everything these days? Every show, every movie that you watch. Have you ever thought about, there's some dude in a conference room that was sitting with other dudes and girls and writing this stuff out, and he had to be the one to be like, let's show him naked. Like, do you don't think everybody else in that writer's room was like, you pervert? Like, why do we have to do that?
Nudity's been in every show since, I mean, back before prehistoric times, they did nudity in that and it was artful. Was at some point it was artful.
Yeah.
What it's turned into now is just perverse for perverse. Like I watched the first season of Landman, and like I got hard 4 times in one episode, and I was just like, can I stop thinking about sex while I'm trying to focus on a show?
Yeah.
These girls are way too hot and they're wearing way too little clothes. I don't want to sit here and look at half naked girls on every show.
Yeah.
It's distracting. But I don't know. I think things are just perverse. But I think they always have been.
Yeah.
But
it's growing is the problem.
It is, but we got to remember too, in New York City back in the 70s, there were peep shows and strip clubs. All of Times Square was a sex show back in the 70s, 60s and 70s. There was more sex readily available as far as prostitutes, peep shows, sex clubs. Sure.
We've just farmed all that out to the internet.
Yeah, it's just on the internet. But it has dwindled down, like the perverseness. And I think a lot of that has to do with men's testosterone has dropped by like 50-something% since that time. So I think men need less sexual outlets than they used to.
More little blue pills.
Yeah, I don't know. But for me, I don't care what adults do. I'm sick and tired of the perverseness, and to wrap this all in one, it's like the gay community, the arts community. They all need to start policing themselves of like the infestation of children pornography. Like, did you know that United States is the #1 consumer of child pornography?
Yes. Go look at Tim Tebow. Go watch some of his stuff. He's doing a great job right now.
And it stems a lot from what Disney and Hollywood is doing. We have introduced sex in so many ways from childbirth, from basically kids' movies on. We've sexualized everything. And then like guys grow up with a false sense of sexuality. Like, what is sexuality? Well, it's like, every Disney show, now the girl's twisting her hips and she's wearing super tight clothes and she's dressed like an adult woman and she's saying very risque things. It's like, no wonder they're attracted to kids.
Do you know who Jeff Dye is?
No.
Really cool comedian. I took Riley to go see him one time when we were in Florida. My favorite, but he likes to say that he's a 2001 liberal. basically the left has moved away from the center.
Like a Bill Maher almost.
Right, yes. So he says he's pro-gay, but conservative values, and he gets torched for that's not enough anymore, essentially, is what he says. And he has this really cool interview with Jillian Michaels, but go look him up as well.
And Jillian Michaels is a great example of a gay, and look, being transparent, we have gay people in our family, and I love them. And my kids I love when my kids spend time with them because they're great examples of like people, not gay people, just people. Mm-hmm. Right. And I grew up with gay people. Yeah. I worked in restaurants my whole life. It's in flooded. It's nothing but gay people, and I've never had an issue with gay people until the past like 7 years. It's like gotten to this, like, you must accept us. It's like, well, I already did. No, more. Yeah. You must look at our dicks. Look at them. Accept them. It's like, I don't want to. Yeah. Well, then you're a bigot. Okay.
Well,
by the way, black people have done the same. The black community's done the same shit.
Yes.
It's like, we're black. Okay. No, we're black. Okay.
My least favorite new thing is when you see somebody on the internet, and I immediately lose respect for them when they start out their sentence by saying, as a black man in America.
As a black man.
How about just as a man in America?
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to do with race?
Did I tell you I almost boycotted Danner boots because of that?
No.
They sent me an email, so I buy Danner hunting boots, and they sent out emails like, we have new black sportsmen. I was like, you mean sportsman? Yeah. I was like, why'd you have to make it about a black dude? I don't care if he's black. You're making it because he's black. I don't care.
Yeah. That's a large portion of our society. But yeah, it's every minority group is now like, the pride has taken on a new connotation of like, everybody look at me and I want everybody else to be like me is the problem. It's not just enough to be gay anymore. You have to then make everybody else okay with gay and be gay as well around you. And that's the problem.
But I want to clarify, it's not all black people. It's like a small percentage of them, but most of it's black women. It's like, but I think I don't know why it is.
It has a lot to do. It's all women.
Well, it's pretty much all
like
women.
Yeah. All, not well, all no, women, but like all. Like in all of these groups, it's 99% of the time the women that are driving the.
Yeah, if you look at the protests, like it's 90% women.
Right.
Any protest.
It's because they're emotional.
Even Black Lives Matter was 90% women.
Right, because if you're a dude and your rational brain is sitting there thinking, like, should I get up and go to a BLM protest today? It's like, no, I got shit to do around the house. Like,
I'm gonna impersonate a black dude that his wife is trying to convince him to go to a BLM riot. Nah, bitch, I ain't going. That's it.
Yeah, there's no reason to. It's ridiculous.
He's just like, nah, I'm good. And she's like, why don't you want to go? I ain't got a reason to go, man. Ain't nobody bothering me. Well, you don't care.
That's the other thing
I do.
That kills me is you'll hear about, black people will say to you how oppressed they are. And it's like,
not personally. Not all black people. Not all black people.
I'm saying just in general, a black person will say how oppressed they are on the internet somewhere. And it's like, you personally have never, ever been oppressed. Like, your great-great-grandparents may have been slaves, but you personally have never experienced even the tiniest bit of systematic oppression ever in your entire life.
I agree and disagree.
I don't think it exists.
So when I was growing up, black people where I lived, which was a very redneck community, did get treated worse. They did get called the N-word, and there were a lot of racist people.
Okay, every 10 years, this has evolved. So I'm saying from 2000 on, today's society that
I would
we live
agree
in,
with that. Now, when I was younger, I was even racist at one point in time. I changed my mind because I realized I was ignorant, right? I realized as I grew up, I was like, oh.
Yeah, but if you're still complaining about 30 years ago, we live in a much different world than we did 30 years ago.
Yeah, but I expect more. This might get me in trouble. I expect more from white people than I do black people. So, like, if a white dude's like, dude, I can't find a job, I'm like, you're just fucking lazy. If a black dude came to me and said, man, I just can't find a job, I'm like, there may be something there. Is your name Taekwon? It may look bad on an application. You can't help that your mom named you that. You know, there are some things that culturally black people have to deal with that I acknowledge, but it is for the black community to figure out. It's not for a white guy to figure out for you. Or it's not a white woman's job to figure that out for you. That's my thing. Is like, it's not my problem. It's your problem. I don't have to get in the middle of your problems. If your schools suck, you need to go move to a better school district. Like, and yes, you're going to have to work 2 jobs to afford it. Like that, those are your problems to figure out, not for white people to figure out. But if it's a white guy's problem, I'm just like, dude, you're just being lazy. You've got no excuses. If you are white born in America, you have no excuses. None.
I tend to think it has so much more to do with culture, though. Because
Agreed.
We have a culture around, like, generally speaking, I'm saying this is the mean, this is the average. So I'm not, again, we're making generalizations. I'm not saying all white people. I'm not saying all black people. There seems to be a cultural representation where when you think of the average white dude having kids, the expectation for his kids is that they go to college and get a corporate job and run the rat race for the rest of their lives. But that is a much better floor than the average cultural stigma of a black man in America, and the average...
He's going to be a professional basketball player.
He's not going to even be in the home, and it's going to be a single mother raising 8 kids, and the expectation for all 8 of those kids is not for them to go to college. It's rap, play professional sports, do it, like, smoke, be a drug dealer. That's the cultural stereotype that we have around it. And if you don't think that affects the minds of young people in both of those societies, like, I'm sure there are plenty of people that are white without that, expectation of you're going to go to college that would never have achieved anything. And I'm not saying you have to go to college to be successful, but I'm saying it sets a certain standard of you will be successful. And then if that same standard isn't there in black communities and the father isn't in the home and there's no standard being set, then of course you're going to have people that are incarcerated at a higher rate and aren't being productive citizens.
Yeah, it's a tough equation. I will say that the black community, in my opinion, this is from a white dude. I get it. I totally get it. And it's really not my place. And this is where I go back to. It's not my place to fix. It's really not even my place to judge. And it's not my place to judge. But my stance is I don't necessarily get into me fixing black people's problems because it's like, it's not my problem to fix and I can't fix it.
Well, the problem is it wasn't any of our business until 2020. Right. And then they made it our business. You know what I'm saying? So, like, once it's pushed on you of, like, you're oppressing me. So, no, I'm not. I love you just as much as the next guy. Like, that, no, I'm not. I love all people. Like, I'm not oppressing any black people. And it's like, but you're telling me that I'm oppressing you. Well, now it's a problem because now I have to defend myself. And so racism, now we have to comment on it.
And racism goes both ways. I've bid black church jobs before and never got them because I was white. I've been to India. I bid a ton of Indian stuff. They wouldn't do business with me because I was white. And I know it was because I was white because a couple black people told me. Like, we don't hire white guys. We only hire black community folks. So it's like, okay, I didn't care anything about it. But, I mean, their society as a whole, again, I just view it as not my problem. You know what I mean? I hope that whatever's going on, they figure it out. But... And that brings me back to, like, when someone asked me, like, would you let your daughter date a black dude? It's like, not right. No. And
here's the other ironic part is we have a lot of people that want to talk about, like, reparations for black people from white people. So they want to give money to black people that were never enslaved from white people that never enslaved anybody. And the funniest part of that is, you know who had slaves the longest?
Black people.
Black people in Africa.
You know who brought the slaves over?
Black people.
Black people.
From Africa.
You know how many black people brought over from Africa?
What's that?
Do you know how many black people were brought over from Africa?
No. How many?
300,000.
I don't know the exact number on it, but I do.
It's around 300.
I can tell you
it's a lot
this.
less than people think.
Anybody that thinks that it was white people that brought people over from Africa, you're wrong. Here's how it actually happened. In Africa, when racial chattel slavery was still happening, there were tribes that would go to war with other tribes. And when one tribe conquered another tribe, they would enslaved them, raped their women and children, murdered all the men that they didn't enslave, and then they would take those and then they would take those slaves and they would go and barter and trade those slaves with white colonizers. That's how black people got
sail them over
to the Americas.
Yes.
So it wasn't white people going and taking over black people. It was black people taking over other black people and selling them off to white people.
Same with the Native Americans too.
Yeah, same with the Native Americans. Native Americans had slaves. Black people had slaves. Europeans had slaves. Actually, white people got rid of slaves before black people did.
And the Irish were slaves and indentured servants. Everybody's been enslaved.
Everybody has been enslaved. White people have been enslaved. So it was just that we're so America focused in today's society that we remember the most recent and the most popularized one because it's sensationalized. That's the only reason. But when you zoom out and you have a much broader view of things and you really understand how the world works, you realize that it's not the evil white man in America like marginalizing black people. That's not the entire story.
I want to go off on one more thing about this, then I want to switch subjects, but I do not let my kids participate in Black History Month.
Nor should anybody.
I tell my teachers they will take a big fat 0 on all their Black History Month projects. I don't want my kids thinking of black people any different than white people. Because every fucking February, my kids get these pieces of paper they got to do papers on about black people because they're black. And I'm like, that is the antithesis of racism. Like, that is what racism is judging someone by the color of their skin. I don't want my kids to do that.
Have you ever seen Morgan Freeman's take on it?
Yes, he said quit talking about it.
Great. I love that take.
All right, let's switch subjects.
Okay.
Skinny jean preachers. What's going on,
What are your
man?
thoughts?
What's going on with these skinny jean preachers? I don't understand it. Every church I try to go to, it's some half-fagged preacher in skinny jeans standing up in front of everybody that looks like a fucking woman, and I can't listen to them. I can't listen to them. They're the most feminine group of preachers I've ever met. It seems like women and feminine men have taken over the church.
Well, I know how they got there. And I have to be careful here because I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me because I have a scholarship to a Christian school. But it is Christian schools that are pumping out Southern Baptist preachers that are feminizing the Christian faith and making it all about the kindness, gentleness, and love. And that's all there is to the Christian faith. And then putting that on. Another thing is when you homeschool your kids, and I know Mac is going to come at me for this, but when you homeschool your kids, they miss out on very, very, very important social development that you can't get at home. I don't care how many teams or co-ops you put them on. I've witnessed it in too large of a number to know that if you homeschool your kids, they don't get the right social development. So, but I digress. When you get that, you have kids that aren't socially developed, and then you can impugn on them whatever ideas that you want to when you put them in these Christian schools because it's the first time they've ever had social interaction.
So are you saying
they
that
absorb everything.
Are you saying it's the colleges that are pumping out the problem?
Yes.
Well, everywhere I go, man, I meet dudes and they're like, oh, I'm like, well, what do you do for a living? They're like, oh, well, I work at a church. Well, what do you do? Oh, I'm the worship leader. It's like, how's that a job? You play 6 songs a week
and make 20 grand.
No, you make like 60 grand at these mega churches. How is that a job? Go out in the real world like the rest of us and make something of yourself. Quit mooching off the church.
It starts with the parents, as always, right? But then when they go to these colleges, what you have is a kid that has never absorbed the real world and they've never experienced what the rest of society is like. And guess what? If the rest of society was just like the home where you're homeschooling these kids, then we would have no need for Christianity. The world is rated R. So if you're homeschooling your kids to protect them from the world, because a lot of people like to say, we want to be in the world, not of the world. Well, you have to actually be in the world. You can't shelter your kids so much that they never get to experience R-rated movies and other people that are filthy and dirty and have their own problems and are addicted to drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, Jesus walked among them.
Yes, and sat with them and talked with them. So you can't shelter your kids. And I think that's the main reason that people homeschool is they talk about like, well, I don't want people in these schools indoctrinating my kids. I don't want, these other kids teaching my kids things about sex and stuff like they have to experience a rated R world, because then they don't understand the depravity of the world, and then there's no need for Christianity anyway. But when you send them off to a Christian school after homeschooling their entire life, they're so sheltered, and then they will naturally absorb all of the parts that they've already experienced in the home, which is the kindness, love, shelter, and that's what their paradigm of the world is. So then when they go out and they become a youth pastor and then eventually a pastor, what do you think their paradigm is? It's going to be a feminized version of Christianity, because they have a feminized view of the world because they were raised by their mothers.
When we shopped for churches in Anderson, my problem was every time I went into church and went in the daycare center, there was a freaking man there. I don't want a man taking care of my kids. It's a woman's job. And he's always like, "Oh, your kids are here, great."
And if you have a problem, if you have a problem with that, let me say this: go out this weekend with your wife, take her on a date, and hire a 16-year-old boy. I dare you. And you won't. You want to know why? Because you're not fucking stupid, because you don't want your kids to get raped.
And by the way, most molestations of young kids, guess who they're by? Men.
Yes.
It's
always.
Not women.
It's almost never women.
But every freaking church we went to,
you don't hire male babysitters.
It's so weird, dude. I do not want a man taking care of my kid, much less a 30-year-old fucking man. Why don't you have a job? Get out of here. This is a woman's job. But I keep walking into these churches and meeting these dudes who have these, they walk in and they're like, "Oh, I work at a church." Like, what do you do? You're not, and then like the unwise preachers that we have, these skinny jeans, tight clothes wearing faggot preachers, and I'll call them that. And I don't care what the social pushback is. They're faggots. That's what they are. And they're not, I don't mean that any disrespect to gay dudes. I respect gay dudes more than I respect these preachers.
Well, have you ever seen the South Park episode? I was watching that with Scott last night. There's an episode of South Park where they're sitting at a city council board meeting, and they're like, "Why do you use the word faggot all the time?" And he's like, "What? It's not disrespectful to gay people." And they're like, "Why not?" It's like, "Well, if you're a cunt Harley rider, then you're a faggot." And it's like, well, what would you call a gay person then? What if they're gay and they don't ride a Harley? Then they're not a faggot. They're just gay. Well, what if they're gay and they ride a Harley? Well, then they're a gay faggot. Like, it's not a derogatory term against gay people anymore.
I don't call, and I've never in my life called a black dude the N-word to his face, even though I say that word all the time. And I don't call black people the N-word. I don't call gay people faggots.
No, you shouldn't.
Because I don't think it's right.
No.
And I don't call women the C word ever, right? Just because I don't believe in insulting people. I think it's low-lying fruit that I think is just dumb to do. But I can't stand these preachers, dude. They drive me crazy because they're not men. I'll tell you a quick story. We went to a church. I was thinking about running for governor. I went up to the preacher, and I was like, "Hey, man, I need some advice. I'm thinking about running for governor of South Carolina. It's going to be a tough thing. I want to make sure I'm making a wise decision." He's like, "I'll call you." Never called. Had a friend who was friend with him. She got him to call me. He called me, and he's like, "Oh, well, I haven't really thought about those issues. I haven't really thought about this. I haven't really thought about that. You just pray about it." I was like, first of all, you're not wise, bro. If your advice on every issue is to pray about it, you're not in a good leadership position to be at a church. Sorry, you have no theological background or sociological background in order to wisely guide people through your faith. Because that's what it takes to be a great leader, is to understand the human mind and the human condition, be able to guide people through that, especially when it comes to Christianity. If you can't do that, you are not a good leader in the church. And you need to get the fuck out, and you need to go get a real job and contribute to society, quit leeching off people. That's what you need to do. And grow a set of fucking balls and wear some looser pants. That stuff bothers me. It bothers me so bad because I walk up to these men and I know they're leading people through their lives in the wrong path. Yeah. That's why we have bad kids. That's why we have problems in society. That's why a church in Minneapolis, nobody in that crowd choked Don Lemon and threw his ass out, is because we don't have leaders in the church that are telling people that God was not a pacifist. He was a man. A real man. He was a carpenter. You don't think he farted into a dude's face and wafted it towards him? Of course he did. He's got a sense of humor. He worked on a construction site. You fucking... Jesus was not a puss. He was not. Quit letting these preachers preach as if he's this feminine man walking around in a cloak like he didn't have a set of nuts on him. He did. That's what drives me crazy. And then you want to work in a children's place? You freaking weirdo. Get out of here. That's an old lady's job. or a young woman's job. Get out of I'm a worship leader. Well, and you sing all girl songs.
Yeah. It goes back to, like I said, it's the feminization of the church from an early level, because we don't have proper men in the home that are, if we had men in the home, a lot less people would be homeschooled. A lot less people would think the things that you're saying.
I think if we didn't have as many women in leadership positions, we wouldn't have as many problems.
Right, but we wouldn't have as many women in leadership positions if we had actual men in the home.
Public schools are screwed because we have too many women in them. In the leadership positions.
I could fix the school system in a second. You want to complain about... I've been thinking about this for a week.
Hire ex-military dudes to run the school system.
No.
And pay them $150,000 a year.
You want to get teachers and professors paid more. They complain about this all the time. I have a great way to do it, especially in college. First of all, high schools adopt the college system, and here's what I mean. You have a catalog of 25 classes that you need, and it's called the degree audit, right? Every college has this. If you're a business major, if you're a biology, whatever it is, you have 25 classes that you have to complete in order to get your degree from the school, right? I would up that to 30. Let's say you have a catalog of 30 classes. And then what you do is every semester when kids are creating their schedule, they list the classes that they want from 1 through 10. And then the administration has to make the schedule, decide which ones they get, whatever. But what that does is it tells you which of the 10 classes are highest in demand every single semester, right? And then which classes are not in demand. And if consistently you are in the bottom 5, if you're 25 through 30 in that catalog in demand, we don't need your classes anymore, bro. Like, you don't need to be a professor. You're not a good professor. You don't have an interesting class. It's not necessary. Kids don't feel like it's effective and like it's helping them. So we don't need your class anymore. You're fired. Go get another job.
Well, what about public schools, grade schools?
Same thing. And you do it and the other argument that I'll hear from people is, oh, well, you can't just go fire teachers. Like, we don't have enough of them. All right, fine. Put them on a different pay scale. So if you are make it incentive based, right? So if you're 1 through 5 in the most high demand classes in your high school, then guess what? You get paid as such. You get 130, 140, 150 grand a year versus the teacher that has 10 years in a row not had a high demand class. You're not getting fired, but you're only making 60 grand. You see what I'm saying? So you incentivize it based on it. It goes back to capitalism. Everybody responds to incentive. You either use the carrot or the stick.
I would agree with that, but I think you need to put more things in order. There's 2 things: uniforms and discipline, and bring back fighting. Let kids fight in schools. Let them fight. Quit fucking arresting 13-year-olds for getting in a fist fight. We have pussified too many kids. I got arrested 7 times for fighting when I was a kid. You know how many times my dad complained about it? 0. My dad was like, you're a man. Part of it. But that was after Columbine.
Yeah, we live in a different world. I don't know if it needs to be happening on school grounds.
Absolutely it does. Gym teachers need to have the ability to let kids step in the ring, put on gloves, and fight. Let them box it out. It needs to happen. The reason we have school shootings is because we have bullies in school that do not get checked.
Yeah.
Because violence is not an option. It needs to be an option again. Violence needs to come back to schools in a contained, monitored manner. Not all-out violence, but we need it back because boys are inherently violent. They want to be, and you need to let them get that aggression out. After you fight someone, you will become friends with them because all the smoke clears. Like, every dude I ever got in a fight with, I was friends with.
And then you actually really have to think about whether what you're fighting over is worth it or not. You'd have a lot less of this, like, stupid drama in schools and stuff like that. I mean, in social circles, because you'd really have to think about, is this worth getting punched in the face over?
And by the way, I don't know why parents let kids wear the clothes they wear. If you're a mom of a daughter and you're wearing and you're letting your daughter's ass cheeks hang out in school, you're gross. You're a gross mom, and you need to stop. And you're a pathetic dad. Like, you're screaming, your daughter is screaming sex, and that's exactly what she's going to get. And if your son is dressing like a bum to school, he is a bum. Like, I don't understand. When I walk around these schools, like,
you are what you habitually do.
We went to Midway Elementary School for 1 year, and we showed up to thing for all the kids or whatever. And there's girls with shorts up their crotch doing TikTok dances at the school. And I was like, no, not in my house. And we left. I was like, this is gross. Parents were letting them do it. And, oh, it's harmless. Okay. How's that working out? How's that working out, guys?
Yeah. I think it depends. Parents need to be intimately involved in their children's lives. But I'm not a parent, so I won't pretend to, I won't pretend to be an expert on it. But at the same time, I don't need to be able to sing good to know you can't sing.
Well,
you know what I mean?
would disagree. They need to be intimately involved in their kids' lives. Like we have, as a whole, right now, we spend more time with our kids than we ever have, but we spend less quality time. It's not how much your dad is present, it's how much his presence is there. If your dad sets the rules and they know everybody has to abide by the rules, the kids will follow the rules most of the time. The problem is we don't have fathers who set precedent in their house of rules because they don't want to be the bad guy. They don't want to be the guy that nobody likes. I could give a fuck less if my kids like me. My rules are my rules, period. If my wife doesn't like it, too bad. We can talk about it, but most likely it ain't changing. And it's because I know that there's wolves out in the world. I am a wolf. I'm a good wolf, but there's big bad wolves that will tear my children apart if I don't set rules and boundaries for them to stay away from the wolves. And if I see another wolf that's acting bad, I'll kill him. I don't care. That's what we don't have in the world, and that's the reason we have skinny jean preachers walking around the world and kids and men in daycares. It's because we don't have enough wolves who understand the boundaries and that there's bad wolves out there. Your kid's getting sexually exploited online because you're not a wolf. You're a sheep, and you're letting your kids get devoured by other wolves. And if your presence isn't you don't have to be present. That's not what I'm talking about. You can still go do things and not be intimately involved. But if you don't set standards in your household, you're letting other people set the boundaries in your household.
But that's what I mean by you don't need to be a helicopter parent necessarily, but you do need to be intimately involved in the way that you need to set those standards and make sure you need to be involved enough to know that your kids are meeting those standards.
Yes,
right?
I agree with you there.
Because
but like
if
in
you're
and out
so
of every
hands-off,
facet of their life is
no, that's not what I mean. And obviously, I feel like I'm shouting into the wind because the people that need to hear the advice will just disregard it, and the people that think that actually listen to the advice are already the ones that are too
yeah, but think about the guy right
so,
now on TikTok. When you sit here, when you make this short, what's going to happen? Right? He may hear that. He may have a daughter in the next room and he's struggling with something. He knows his daughter's on Snapchat and she's 13 years old. He may go in there and just rip her phone out of her hand and stop that shit.
Yeah. You're not involved enough.
And he may stop her from getting sexually exploited. She may be taking nude photos in the bathroom when he's out there doing whatever he's watching, playing video games like a nerd. Right? He may hear that and go do that. That's the only reason I bring this up is not to make fun of the dads, which I am kind of poking fun of, but Jesus Christ, get off your ass. I've seen this firsthand, okay? I got sent a photo of a girl doing something sexual to herself when she was 16. I was like 18 and I got sent the video. Sheriff's office calls me a year later, 2 years later, says, Mr. Barrs, we need to meet. I said, okay. Met him in a parking lot and they were like, we need that video that was sent to you. We're not going to charge you because we know that you didn't. I mean, it was sent to me. I didn't have it saved in my phone. It was in a text message or whatever. And they ended up arresting the guy who sent it out to everybody. And it was her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend.
Wow.
This stuff happens all the time. All the time. And it's because dads don't police their children. Yeah. In a manner of like, we don't do that. You know, and children are going to do what they're going to do. Mistakes are going to happen. But we live in a world now to where, like, it takes that long for a video to be sent and your child to make a mistake. Yeah. And she can't unsend it.
And if you don't think people are watching you, just a warning to the wise. If you don't think the FBI is watching you.
Oh, they are.
They are. I saw a video the other day of this teacher she was like right out of college. She was a teacher's assistant. And she had taken a picture of a kid who had closed her laptop and deleted her work. And she had taken a picture of him and just sent it to her like 3 friends and said, I'm going to shoot this kid. I can't believe it. Like, obviously she didn't mean anything by it, but the FBI came knocking because they didn't know if she was going to shoot up the school. They don't know if it's a joke, right? And she lost her job and she spent the night in jail. So the FBI is watching. They're watching your Snapchat. They're watching your Instagram. They're watching your text messages. Your phone listens to everything you say.
I'm in trouble.
I mean, so they're watching you. So if you think that you're safe, nothing is deleted, nothing is ever gone. Like, even if you delete something, it's not gone. So if you are younger watching this, if you're older watching this, it doesn't matter. Everybody's stupid. Don't make mistakes on the internet. You can't get rid of them. They don't go away.
I've said some wild stuff on the internet, but I mean, I'm a grown man. I can handle it. But like, as far as kids, my kids won't have social media till they're out of the house. My kid will not have a phone until they're 16. Until they have a driver's license, there's no reason for them to have a phone. Now, there'll be a phone at the house they can use and call their friends. Because I had a house phone as a kid. It's unfair for your kids not to be able to call their friends. But if you think they're walking around with a phone with the internet, you're out of your mind. Yeah. 16-year-old boys cannot handle what's on the internet. And another thing is like, what's up? Maybe you can explain this to me. What's up with the what's the stuff guys are into now? That's like the comics. It's not comics though. It's called
anime stuff.
Anime. What is that, dude? It's so weird.
I don't know. I've never been into it. I don't understand it. I think it's weird, and I think everybody that's into it, I think those people are usually weird as well. Like it's not always like a perfect formula. I'm not saying that everybody that watches anime, they're essentially cartoons, a genre of cartoon.
Yeah, but I like go to Books A Million with the kids to get kids books, and there's like anime sections, and it's all dudes walking around buying anime books, and it's so weird.
It's a weird community for sure, and it's a lot of, again, not trying to make it about race, but
it's all white dudes.
Stereotype? No, not at all. No.
Is it Asian kids?
Mostly black people.
What?
Yeah.
I thought it was a white kid thing.
Not at all. Not at all. It's a weird white kid thing. It's predominantly black.
Get a girlfriend.
Most college black dudes you talk to are into anime.
That is so weird. Yeah. I would never have expected that.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't understand it. But
and then I want to change topics a little bit. Music wise, how do people like Kendrick Lamar?
There's
it's not even good.
I don't disagree with you. But there is,
in like that whole genre, I don't understand it.
There's a certain poetic element to it. So like in the same way that you would look at like women and you're like, how do you like poetry? Like that's so boring. It's the same way like your old ears don't like the beat. And frankly, I don't like Kendrick Lamar very much either. I don't listen to him.
Like when I listen to Outkast,
I don't think it's very good, but there's a certain poetic way that he speaks, and he's a master of the English language. And I think that's what's mostly attractive. But then I think it also groups in part of the audience. There's the people that love that side of it, where they're like, I guess more of like the intellectual music lover would love the side of it that's like he's a master of the English language, and then you have just the low-hanging fruit people that are like, oh yeah, this beat's pretty good. Like,
well, like when I listen to Outkast, I don't hear any of that in Kendrick Lamar. When I listen to like older rap that was, in my opinion, truly poetic, I don't hear any of that in modern music. I hear a lot of like garbage, just like it's the same shit over and 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 over, and I don't quite understand it. Like when I listen to, I don't understand Taylor Swift either.
Neither do I. Obviously, we're not the right group to be talking about.
Yeah, but I'm like, isn't that a bunch of fat white girls? Like lonely, boyfriendless white girls?
Yes, boyfriendless white girls is the right way to put it.
Like,
yes, because it's just I can't. I will never let personally the women in my life listen to it, because it's just it's just her shitting on men for 4 minutes over and over. Like,
Is that a larger cultural thing that maybe we're in society, we're just like in a point where women are completely frustrated with men and they're gravitating towards something that represents the hatred of men?
Yes. So Sabrina Carpenter, who on the other side of Taylor, I love me some Sabrina Carpenter.
I think she's ugly.
I mean, she's not like terribly attractive, but I love the music just because it's catchy to me. Like I think
I've never listened to one of her songs. So I don't know.
You would probably hate it, but I think it's really good. But again, that's another one. It's just 4 minutes of shitting on men. And she received an award for one of her music. And she literally got up on stage and said to all the ladies out there, like, if you want to make music, just put something together and then write down as many ways to shit on men as possible and then put it in a song and it'll go viral. It's like, yeah. Well, she's not wrong.
On the other side of that, you got like the Jelly Roll music, which is just white trash music. Like it's just I smoke and I drink and I drive my truck and blah blah blah. It's like this infusion of hip hop and country that I hate.
This is why I didn't like country music for the longest period of time. But
that's not country music.
No, but a lot of country music,
it's turned into rap.
There was from 2015
from Luke Bryan on.
Yes, this Morgan Wallen, Luke Bryan type
Florida Georgia Line garbage.
Yes, where they're just talking about sex and alcohol and pickup trucks, and money. It drives me insane.
Well,
I can't
they've
stand
always
that kind of
talked
country
about
music.
that, but it was more elegant.
No, but now you have like. Leon Bridges has done some country stuff with like some country collaborations that I like a lot. The Ella Langley, who I've just now kind of heard about, she just had a big hit. Like that's the kind of country music I really get down with because it still has some of the same concepts in it, but it's more about romanticizing men and women than it is talking about just pickup trucks and alcohol and sex.
There's a lot of really great country music coming out now, but like the whole this is the problem I have with like young men too, is like this, where did like ghetto, like it's ghetto country. Like you see it in the way men dress now.
Yeah.
It's like half wannabe gangster, half country. Everybody's got a, Pinterest or whatever.
Where you're wearing a chain and you're wearing cowboy boots and
it's like
jeans,
this like
and it makes no
flippy
sense.
hair, flat bill. I'm a thug
wear
country.
A hat and then they take the blow dryer and blow the edges of their hair up.
It's so weird, dude. It's so weird.
If you do that, you are lost.
Yeah,
to say the least.
And girls, and I mean, like they're all girlfriendless, and like they all. If I see a group of trucks parked out in front of a Target parking lot, it's all dudes. There's no girls there. It's like, and by the way, your truck is only attracting men. It's not attracting women. Girls don't care what you drive.
I think my generation as a whole has lost what is They don't know what's attractive to women. I think it's coming from a place of ignorance is where I'm at. I think that there's genuinely people that think that they're attractive and just aren't. Like masculinity, dominance, success, being clean and classy, that's what's attractive.
And I think that, and I think, you have to be, I think if you're a young dude, like I get it. I was a dumbass when I was 18. I was 18, 19, 20 years old. I was a dumbass, but I still was trying to do better. I just don't see most of them doing anything.
No, there's a level of apathy now where they just don't care. Like they're just going to be them.
Like this is me.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you sucks. Like, what are you going to do about it? That is the
worst advice I've ever heard. If somebody tells you just be true to yourself,
that's a dumb thing.
Worst fucking advice ever. Now, if you are just
you're
be
awesome. Until you're awesome.
Yeah, sure. But most people are not awesome.
No.
Definitionally, no, you shouldn't be you. You should try and be a better version of yourself. Like, you'll hear people say, like, if somebody's nervous for a job interview, somebody else will tell them, like, just be yourself. You'll be great. No, don't be yourself. Try and be the best version of anybody that ever walked into that interview room. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
Like, no, you are not awesome. Like, we were created not awesome. If you believe in Christianity, you believe in the depravity of man, we are naturally and instinctually not awesome people. So you have to constantly strive to be a better person. And if you're just going to be yourself and naturally do what instinctually comes to you, guess what? That makes you a caveman.
Yeah.
Like, that makes you barbaric. That doesn't make you awesome.
And if you're a girl, I will tell you how to get a man right now. Learn how to cook and put on a dress.
A sundress.
A sundress, not one that's
and
revealing.
sit like a lady.
By the way, if I can see everything, it makes me not want it. I don't. Like
winning over a man is not that hard. Put on a sundress and tell him how much you don't trust the government, and you will be fine.
Yeah, and learn how to cook. If you really like, I tell single girls this: if you want a man that will stay, and he's a great man, and you want to marry a dude who is wealthy or will be wealthy, guess what? They don't want a complicated girl to deal with. They don't want a bitchy girl. Some girl who's got an attitude. They don't want all that. Yeah. The last thing a successful guy wants is to come home and have to deal with your loud ass mouth. Yeah. Like, because you want to be a boss girl or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Like, be subtle.
And the other thing is
no good girls listening to this and be like, oh.
When you are in a relationship, but this goes for men and for women as well. When you are in a relationship, and men, don't tell your woman not to do this. If you're in a relationship and your woman is going and bitching about you to her friends, your relationship will not last.
It's over pretty much.
All of her friends are only going to hear the bad things about you. And so what do you think the next time a bad thing happens? They're just going to say, yeah, and remember when he did this and when he did this, and he doesn't love you because of this. But your girlfriend isn't going and telling them all of the amazing, sweet things that you did. So they don't get both sides. So your girl, if you are a girl and you are in a relationship and you are going and bitching to your friends about your significant other, stop doing that.
And likewise for men, if a man comes up and talks to me about how much he's not getting laid from his wife, I don't want to be anywhere around that dude. I don't want to hear about your sex life unless it's good. And I don't want to hear about it. Just be like, I had sex 3 times today. I'm like, good for you, buddy. That's awesome. You still got a hard one, you know? But I mean, like, if you're sitting there bitching about your wife, you're a loser. Yeah. You're a loser. I don't want to be anywhere around you. You're talking bad about your wife. The woman who willingly spreads her legs for your ugly ass, and you're going to come to your guy friends and bitch about her. Get away from me.
There is specific people in your life, and there's only 1 or 2 of them, probably one of them, that you can genuinely bring your problems to in a proper manner about your significant other and get an objective opinion from them where they will tell you, yeah, you're the douche, or yeah, that's not, that she shouldn't have done that.
That's different.
There's one person in your life that has that objective mindset, and you need to find that person so that you can talk to somebody about it, because obviously you have to get that off your chest sometimes.
I do it. It happens.
But it has to be to the right person. If you're going to 8 different buddies and you're talking about it, but 7 of those people are not who you should be talking to.
No, and guess what? 7 of your friends aren't married with kids.
Right.
You're probably talking to a bunch of losers who don't know how to handle a woman anyways. By the way, all women need to be handled. Mm-hmm. Hot tip. You're going to meet 5 different women throughout the course of the month that are all the same woman. Every week you got to duck and dive and see which one you're dealing with. And like, you're going to have a week out of every month. It's really a week and a half to where she's just like, who the fuck is this person in my house?
And that's not like...
And that's not knocking on women.
No, it's biology. Go look up what a luteal phase is. Like, it's their hormones. I'm not going to say... It's not their fault either, really.
The week after that's pretty awesome.
Right. The week after, they're really angry for a while.
And
really
then all they want to do is rape you. Or grape you, whatever you can say on YouTube.
There are... you have to be aware of that, is that the woman you're with is going to go through different evolutions of her own mental headspace throughout the month that she can't even really control. She can be aware of it. That's the thing, is there's a difference between controlling it and being aware of it, right? Because if she can't control it, but she can come back 3 days later and say, yes, I recognize that I was over emotional and I'm sorry. Right.
Or just leave it alone.
Or just leave it. But she has to be able to understand. Not everything can be a relationship ending argument when she's over emotional. Both of you have to understand that.
And it's also your job to notice it and learn it.
Yes.
And dodge it. Like, and by the way, those are little ripples. The overarching principle of marriage is it goes down and up.
Yeah.
Those are little ripples month to month. You'll have 6 months in your marriage where you don't really like your wife. And you just have to deal with that and understand that you're just going through a phase that you and her are not on the same page, but that will go away. And that happens. And
but it's making a commitment and a choice every single day.
It's a choice. And when I was like 20 years old, I met a guy who was walking across the United States. And we gave him a ride somewhere or something like that. I was 21, maybe I was living in Clemson. And he said, and we were talking about, I was like, you married? He's like, yeah. And we were talking about, he's like, listen, buddy, you fall out of love with your wife, but you learn to love her based upon your commitment. And that stuck with me. And it's so true. Like there'll be months where you're like, I fucking hate this woman. Like she's driving me crazy. We're not on the same page. All she does is bitch at me. And maybe she's going through something or you're going through something or something like that. But if you just let it go and you just keep pushing through, you'll find these months to where it's like you just met and you're like all over each other. And then it rekindles that fire. But like, yes, women need handled. It is a thing. Like it is a hard thing to do, but young men need to learn that. But you have to get in the game. But besides that, getting back to young men just being like doing nothing these days and not dating and not chasing women, which we talked about on the last podcast. First of all, you got to get in the game, right? You got to find one. And a good way to get a woman is be successful at whatever you're doing or go do something really worthwhile. And you won't have to look for a woman. Yeah. They'll come to you. And I don't like when young men are like hung up on anime and fucking whatever else they're doing. And women are out there like screaming at Taylor Swift, yeah, men suck. And it's like, maybe they do right now. I don't know. I'm not a woman. I'm not dating, but I imagine that.
I think it goes both ways, like in most things. That women,
but men are in charge.
Yes. Ultimately, the onus falls on the men to be better. In almost everything. I
don't think women would be wearing as little clothes as they wear now if men were pursuing them as much. And maybe we went over this in a lot of podcasts, but I think it all stems from men just being overall like bad men. Yeah. And we just have a generational thing that's just like, they didn't have to fight in a war. They didn't have to go to combat. They haven't had much struggle, and they're just having a hard time finding their place on earth. Women are like, well, where's your thing? And they're like, oh, well, I like trucks. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I like going to Brantley Gilbert concerts. Okay, cool. That's not what a woman looks for. They look for someone who has an overarching dream that's really reaching for something better that they can go along with. You know, most women don't want to have a full-time career. They want to know that they're going to be taken care of if they decide not to work. Mm-hmm. At least women in South Carolina, you know, so I don't know.
All right. Last thing I want to hit on. Last time, one of the things that went really viral was all of our talk on guns and the different aspects
the AR-15 guys.
So one interesting question that I know we've talked about before, but within that context of protecting your family, I just want to set the scene. There's an intruder coming into your house. Mm-hmm. You hear him come in. He's loud. Take me through the next steps. First of all, what are the keys to home defense, being defensive instead of offensive? And then ultimately it comes down to you're face to face with someone. What decisions are you making in that moment?
So I will preface by saying I don't know a great answer, and I would be scared shitless. I would be crapping my pants. As much as a tough guy I think I am, I know for a fact I would get into fight mode, but I would also be shaking in my pants. That's why I recommended a shotgun for home defense, because it's very hard to miss. And all these dumbasses who think you're going to whip out an AR-15 and you're going to be running through the house clearing runes and you're a combat Navy SEAL. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to be shitting your pants, and then you're going to be coming face to face with a guy who wants to kill you too or kill your family, and you're going to be shaking like a motherfucker, and you're going to have to pull the trigger. Now, that being said, my rules are the kids stay in their rooms, the wife stays in the rooms. If she hears anything, she goes to their room, she gets in the closet or something of those rooms until one of us is dead. And then when one of us is dead, if he's still alive, she shoots him. And then if I'm still alive, I'm burying the fucking body, or I'm calling the police, one of the two. But my go-to is a shotgun. I don't like a pistol for home defense because if I get killed and she's nearby, she can at least pick up the shotgun and operate it. Or if I get in a scuffle match with the guy and my pistol gets jammed because we're in a scuffle match, or I get a dead fire because the slide gets racked and we're in hand to hand, she can at least grab the shotgun away from me and point it at and shoot the guy so she doesn't have to do a malfunction reload. Now, there's tons of hard asses out there that'll be like, oh yeah, pistol's the way to go. I get that. Maybe you're better than I am and whatever. But for me, it's a shotgun. Kids stay in their rooms. I'm not waking anybody up. I'm waking my wife up. I'm saying, you stay right here until something happens. And then as soon as the gunfire stops, you go to the kids' rooms. Kids don't move. Because kids, what do when they hear something scary?
They move to it.
They move to it. You don't want them anywhere around.
They go investigate.
They go investigate. They want it because they don't know the difference and they don't know. So that's my go-to. Unfortunately, on our house, it's single level. I would prefer have the kids upstairs, and then you could do what you need to do, die or fight or whatever the case is, and the kids are at least in a second floor to where the second adult in the room in the house has a second shot at stopping whatever's coming in. But if they're outside, my general take is I'm not going out there. They can take whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'll scream at them through a window, and I'll call the police, but I'm not going out there because I don't want to get into a gunfight unless I absolutely have to. And I don't want to kill anybody who's just hungry. I'm not a fan of...
Speak more about that. So you had once said to me that you had hoped that it would never come to you shooting somebody, and you would hope that in that moment, which I think would be really, really hard to have kind of the discernment to know, is this somebody that's desperate and hungry, or is this somebody that actually wants to hurt me?
Yeah. So if it's a grown man, I'm killing him. If I can judge in the dark whether he's a full grown man, I'm killing him. Don't care what he's doing in my house. You're dead. If it's a younger guy by himself, I'll probably give him a chance, I would think, unless he's got a weapon. If it's a group of guys, I'm shooting all of them. Because if a group of guys ain't doing nothing good. Now, if you're outside and you didn't break in the door, if you're just breaking into my car or something like that, or you're stealing some of my fishing stuff or whatever, trying to steal my tractor, I ain't killing you. I'm probably going to give you grace and just call the cops and hope you get caught. But I've been a thief before. I've stolen some stuff. And people have caught me stealing before and gave me grace. So I've been there, been hungry, lived out of my car. I understand it. And hunger and poverty will make you do some wild stuff. It's the stuff you think you wouldn't do.
Yeah. And if you are somebody that's defending your home, I would say try and understand that if you can, even if they are stealing a tractor or a car or whatever it is, $30,000 is not worth somebody's life.
No, and there's a guy who just got charged for shooting at two guys that were outside, and he chased them in the woods and shot them that were stealing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Like,
but also morally, like, if someone's trying to steal your car, obviously, and there's no immediate threat to you, they're not in your house or anything like that, and they are outside your house, whatever it may be, it's not worth somebody's life. No amount of possessions is worth somebody's life.
And you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
You know, but again, as soon as they open that door latch, it's the clock.
The intentions change.
And also, like, their decision-making process has gone, they know you're in the house.
Yes.
I've been a thief before. I've actually broken into someone's house before. It was a drug dealer's house, and I stole all his weed. But I've been there, done that. I knew he wasn't home. If he was home, he could have shot me. That'd have been my bad. But if you're a thief, you know when someone's home because you've done this before. No one does their first B&E at my house. You're a career criminal because I live kind of off the beaten path. You know what you're doing. So that's my rule of thumb is like outside, just take what you need, bud. I'll get it. You know, I can afford to replace it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You touch that door latch and you crack the door in my house. It's whether or not I want to kill you or not. And I would try my best to judge that based upon how you react when you see me. But I want to make it clear that I'm not I would be shitting my pants. Like, I don't want to kill anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
that. Totally agree with you on that one.
Even if it's like a cracked out meth head, like not being on meth, he's probably not that bad of a guy.
Yeah.
Like
most people, I think, are not inherently that they are inherently evil. They're not. They don't think that they're evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody thinks. Like Hitler didn't think he was the most evil person in the world. Like he thought he was doing something good for his country. I'm sure of it. You know, so I think most people are the protagonist in their own story. So that's where for somebody to be in that position, they have to be so desperate. So I would hope that, but like you said, it's hard in the dark to have that discernment. And if they're in the house, then they have no good intentions.
No, and they know you're home. That's the other thing. Like if they see cars there, they know they're in there. You know, so they've already crossed that threshold in their mind of like, if I have to do something to these people to get this stuff, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to get in a house. It's harder to get in a house quiet. It's even harder to get in a house quiet with people there.
Yeah.
So you've already crossed all those boundaries in your head. Even if you got meth in your system, you already know what's up. And as far as like carjacking, stuff like that, it's a death sentence. Now, if I'm in the car alone, yeah, it's a death sentence, especially if my kid's there. I almost shot a guy in a Chick-fil-A parking lot. I pulled into the drive-through line, and he was like halfway in the line, and I didn't know what he was doing. I thought he was just eating a cheeseburger or whatever. And he gets out of his car, and he's yelling at me. He keeps walking towards his car, and I got my daughter in the car. I pull out my gun. I roll down my window and say, I didn't even point it at him yet. I said, dude, back up. I got a kid in the car. I got a kid in the car. I got a kid in the car. He keeps walking. I said, I got a kid in the car. Back up. I pointed at him. I start decompressing my trigger. I said, if you get in this car, I'm going to blow your head off. Because I wasn't going to wait until he got to my car to pull out a gun with a kid in the car and risk my daughter getting shot by a stray bullet to wait. I'd rather take my chances in court. And luckily, about 10 feet from there, he's just like, all right, man, whatever. And I was just like, holy shit. I didn't want to shoot the guy, but it was a matter of like, dude, like you're with kids and stuff like that, your whole frame of mind changes because even like, I don't care if I get killed. Doesn't bother me. The thought of that doesn't even bother me at all. If one of my kids get killed, dude, or my wife, I couldn't live with that because I didn't want to be proactive in the situation, you know, but in hindsight, I could have just drove off.
But for all the schmucks that are going to comment on this clip, you know, oh, you're going to go to jail for brandishing a weapon.
Go fuck yourself.
But you're an idiot. Like, if you think he's reporting you for walking towards your vehicle, no. And then also, there's nuance in that law that, you know, like if you're justified in pulling it out, like they don't just go handing that out to, if you go, brandishing a weapon is like, that law was intended for people that are just going and pointing it at people on the street for no reason, not for people that are pulling it out in self-defense.
These are a bunch of old losers. Like it's all old dudes who are losers who just like, what are you doing on the internet anyways? Go take your grandkids out to lunch, you fucking loser. Yeah. Like go get out of here. Like I don't want to hear about your.
So I don't want to hear about any brandishing your weapon.
Or, you know, like, I got an AR-15 and I can clear a house. I can clear my house. I got a 9mm sitting beside my bed. Well, aren't you cool? Aren't you cool? How many street fights you been in, buddy? I've been in close to 100, if not over 100. And guess what? A gun, a semi-automatic, when you're scuffling, good luck. Good luck. A revolver is way better. A shotgun is better for home defense because guess what? That .223 round zips through drywall. Mm-hmm. And it now, will a shotgun pellet? Yes, it will, but it will not go as far as a .223 round. If you want to whack one of your kids in the head or one of your neighbors in the head, you go right ahead. Start doing it. But I would rather use a gun that does not penetrate barriers as easily as a fast-moving .22 caliber round that's going to zip through walls no problem. That's just me. And like John Shrek McPhee, he recommends, and he carries a pistol in his house. But he was in the Delta Force. He shot hundreds of people.
Yeah.
I have shot 0. So I want my best chances of killing the dude. buckshot is basically 9 to 12 9mm bullets in one shell.
Yeah, but also if you are to the point where you have to shoot somebody, you better not miss. If they have a weapon,
or keep shooting.
Right? But if you're in an instance where you are going to miss once, right? Like you may not have time to shoot twice.
Yeah,
right. Because usually the second one is less accurate than the first. So, especially when you're in a high stress, nervous situation, you've never been in this situation before. Somebody's in your house and you have a pistol, and you go to shoot somebody and you miss, and they shoot back and kill you. A shotgun, it's a wider spread. You're a lot less likely to miss.
Here's a good way to test how awesome you are, or if you're not awesome. If you're listening to this and you think you're some hard ass and you're going to get in a fight with a guy, or you're going to be shaking really bad, and because you went to these little gun courses, your little shooting courses, and you're so cool. Okay, get one of your buddies out in your lawn and wrestle for 2 minutes as hard as you can, and then pull out your pistol and shoot at a target that's 5 meters away, 15 feet, and see how many rounds hit.
Yeah.
I bet you it's not many. I bet you're shaking out of control. Especially, and that's not even with the dude actually trying to kill
nerves,
you.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't like this whole, I know a Navy SEAL. I watch all this YouTube stuff with all these SEALs.
You're not a SEAL.
A lot of SEALs.
You're not Delta Force.
Yeah, and most people in the military, guess what? 99% of them have never pointed a gun at anybody or never had a gun pointed at them. It's less than 1% that actually see combat. It's like you can listen to a ton of people on the internet and all these gun guys talk about stuff. Most of them have never been in a street fight. Like I've been in a ton. My face is all screwed up from street fights and boxing. And guess what? It rattles you bad. And you don't realize that your face is getting drug across concrete. Or like the wooden floors in your house, you got a splinter through your cheek because your face was getting drugged. Or that the corner of your wall got jammed in the side of your temple and split the whole side of your face open, and you got blood in your eyes. And you're telling me that you're going to re-rack your pistol? Okay, buddy. Now, your best chance is, like I said, is just stay away from the dude if he's in your house and make longer shots with a wider pattern with a shotgun. That's most people. Now, again, if you train for this stuff and you're way more proficient, I got a buddy, Mac. I love Mac. I would trust him with a pistol in my house, no problem. Dude shoots all the time. And he's a gangster with a pistol. He's a gangster with a rifle. I'm not as good as he is.
Yeah.
I know me. So it boils down to how proficient you are. I'm just more comfortable with a shotgun.
I think the other point is if you're in that sort of a situation, I don't think anybody should be clearing their own house.
I think you should. Absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely.
In my opinion, I feel like you're in a much better situation. Ideally, you would buy a house and I understand not everybody's house is built a certain way, but I would like personally for my house to be situated so that me and my wife are backlit in a bedroom, right? So that I can see out into sort of an open concept. And then the kids' rooms are up the stairs so that I can see if somebody's moving up the stairs, right? So that way it's pure, and I'm taking a defensive position.
But that ain't most people.
No, sure. I mean, sure. But I think most houses you can set yourself in a situation where you're in a choke point, where you know, is anybody going to the kids? And you can set yourself in your house better than the intruder does in the dark. So I feel like playing defense is a better idea than going and clearing a room, because that sounds like a great way to get surprised from somebody.
Well, if me personally, I'm clearing the house after I hear the noise stop. Either I've shot the guy, or he's ran off, or then I'm clearing the rest of the house.
Right, because you don't know right. But initially, somebody's in your house. You just grab the shotgun.
No, I'm not going after him. I'm getting to a point where I can blockade myself between him and my family. And then I am sitting there, and I'm going to call out to him. Leave or die. Leave.
Right.
You must leave, or you're going to get shot.
That initial, your first moves after grabbing the gun. I think most people should be in a defensive mindset. It's home defense. It's not home offense.
And the best,
right? So if you don't know where he is at that, like you've heard the noise, somebody's in the house. I don't know where he is, and I'm grabbing my weapon. My first moves are not to go run through the house and clear
No,
rims.
that's stupid.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Unless you're the kind of guy who's done that for a living.
We're talking to the vast majority, but the person that we're talking to is not. It's not you. Like it's not the person that just heard that and is like, oh, that's me. It's not you.
Yeah, it's not
you.
And if it is, I suggest you bring a homeboy over to your house and tell him to go hide in your house, and you go clear the house and see how many times you get shot.
No, not even that. You want to know why? Because they've already done it. You want to know what I mean? Like they've done it a million times in the military, and they've already gone through that in their head.
No, I'm talking about if you think you're the kind of guy who can clear his house, have one of your buddies come over,
right, and
tell him to go hide. And then you go clear your house and see who gets shot first.
Go buy 2 airsoft guns.
Yeah, something like that. I love this. Like, there's cool things about seeing military guys on podcasts these days. But the other annoying part is everybody thinks that they're now related to them.
Yeah.
And like that they're like some Top Gun, whatever. And this is what I was talking about, the AR-15 guys. Like, you're not a Navy SEAL. You're not a Ranger. You're not in Delta Force.
You're not capable of clearing the
SOCOM.
house with an AR-15.
No. But because even if you are, it's a dumb round to shoot in your house. Because if you do miss, it's going through a bunch of walls. And if you live in a neighborhood where all the houses are close, it's going into your neighbor's house unless it hits a stud. A shotgun typically will stop at half, like if it goes through 2 pieces of half-inch OSB, which is the outside sheathing of a house, it doesn't have much trajectory left because it's not going as buckshot usually goes about between 1,200 and 1,500 feet per second. 223 round, if I'm not mistaken, goes between 2,200 feet per second and 3,000 feet per second. It's a big difference. Speed equals puncturing, penetration. You know, and I think everybody that watches this, again, the comments are going to be like, go invite a buddy over. Have some fun. Have some beers and try to clear your house. You're going to find out how bad you are.
I actually really want to do that. I think it would be a lot of fun.
I've done, I did house clearing and building clearing when I was in the military. I was shockingly bad at it. Yeah. Because you don't realize how
I think it's hard, man.
Well, what I didn't realize is that if someone if you're within 3 feet of someone, you may shoot them, but with a simulation round, they can still grab the barrel by the time you get off your second shot. And then you're in a scuffle. Mm-hmm. And 223 rounds aren't known for killing people on contact. Yeah. Like you're still in a scuffle. So a shotgun is a totally different thing. Like that's a one-stop shop to death town. Yeah. So, yes, I mean, that's what I recommend everybody. And I highly recommend everybody invite a buddy over and wrestle in the yard, then shoot. Mm-hmm. Like it will humble you, or put boxing gloves on and box in your front yard, then shoot. It's like, it's a whole different ball game. Yeah. You know, and I've had my ass kicked in street fights and I've lost a lot of them. It's not that hard to get knocked out. Been knocked out in a street fight. You know what I mean? So like, and then, and you can't pull a gun in a street fight. This is called an escalation clause. Like if someone punches you, you're not allowed to shoot them. Right. Yeah. Like you can't just go do that. So like, no, because it's not, you don't need lethal force. You don't need lethal force than that. So like, and that's the other thing I was talking about. EDC, like something to carry. For most people, like a revolver makes more sense than a semi-automatic pistol because most gunfights are going to happen in a fighting scenario. Mm-hmm. They're not going to happen in a 5 to 7 foot distance to where you have time to pull out. Like it's going to be in a scuffle, especially women. Women get attacked. They need a hammerless revolver. And I saw a lot in the comments last night. Like, oh, that's not, okay, whatever. So, well, great insight, Dillon. Thanks for another good one. It's fun. We'll do another one again soon. We're out here at beautiful Lake Hartwell. Yep. It's gorgeous. So stay safe in the snow. For sure. Everybody stay safe. Don't drive. I don't know when this will be out. Drive. Stay inside if you can. Don't go get out on the streets. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to drive. There's going to be ice on the roads. But everybody stay safe. Good to have you. And we'll see you next time. See ya.